The Kimpact Development Initiative has called for the establishment of special courts to deal with electoral matters. The initiative, during a review of the just concluded elections, says that the recent polls generated a large number of aggrieved politicians from the high number of election petitions against the conduct of the polls. The Executive Director of Kimpact also described the process aimed at getting victory during the polls as difficult and says that the time spent in the elections petitions court is too long.
Our partner KDI has sought to assess the efficacy and fairness of the dispute resolution mechanisms employed following the 2023 general elections by shedding light on both successes and challenges encountered in these processes. It aims to contribute to ongoing dialogue and reform efforts aimed at the judiciary, enhancing electoral integrity, and improving public trust. As we reflect on the findings presented in this report, let us reaffirm our shared commitment to advancing the cause of democracy and electoral justice in Nigeria. Let us seize this opportunity to identify areas for improvement and redouble our efforts to ensure that future electoral processes are characterized by accountability, fairness, transparency, and inclusivity. We appreciate the Court of Appeals for its partnership and continued willingness to collaborate with IFES and her partners to strengthen the EPT process in Nigeria. I would also like to appreciate INEC and other stakeholders for their participation in this event, which highlights our collective willingness to work together to improve Nigeria's electoral integrity. Finally, I want to extend our appreciation to our donors, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, for their continuous support and commitment to enhancing credible elections in Nigeria.
The Commission had just concluded on the 3rd of February 2024 by and rerun elections into 48 constituencies across 26 states of the Federation. Today, the Commission is again returning to the field in Enugu and Taraba states to conduct supplementary elections. Elections are a set of processes and mechanisms designed to ensure peaceful and orderly recruitment of leaders. Although inherently peaceful processes, disputes can and often arise either in the conduct or from contests between opposing parties, candidates, or interests. In such contexts, the resolution of electoral disputes becomes a key part of the broader conflict resolution framework of societies. Such efforts are not only grounded in social norms and practices, they save time, cost, as well as have the capacity to enhance bonds between disputants much more than adversarial efforts that go through formal legal processes. For the Independent National Electoral Commission, the role of alternative dispute resolution mechanisms have long been recognized as integral parts of the Commission's dispute resolution process. It was in the recognition of this fact that the Commission established an ADR unit in July 2009, which 5 years later, in 2013, was upgraded into a directorate. For the Commission, therefore, the ADR and EADR, that's Electoral Alternative Dispute Resolution, focus on identifying, understanding, tracking, and resolving disputes among or between disputants. These mechanisms seek to provide disputants with peaceful and less adversarial means of reconciliation outside of the court system through negotiation, mediation, conciliation, and arbitration. Cases that could have otherwise escalated into irreconcilable differences and long litigation processes have been successfully addressed through the intervention of the Commission's ADR and EADR efforts that are active across the electoral cycle. The Commission continues to propagate the value of ADR processes. For instance, the Commission has trained all 37 heads of its legal and FCT, heads of state and FCT legal departments as dispute resolution officers to handle inter and intra-party disputes, contractual disputes between contractors and the Commission, as well as workplace disputes over the past years.
It's basically from this, what we have, the process we've undertaken for 1 year, trying to look at the process in the courts around the election. It was full of a lot of revelations. Number one, the first thing we discovered was that the number of petitions was very, very high, because we have 1,209 petitions. The last time Nigeria had that was in 2007. Then the second thing we also and that shows that, look, it talks about how the politicians view the election. So which means we have more people who are aggrieved and they went to court. The second thing I'm going to say is that the whole process in the court that spanned like 1 year, from the tribunal to the Supreme Court, you hardly have only just few people, less than like about 12% people actually won their case. So which means it also shows that, look, the whole process of court is a difficult process to prove your case and win at the court, because the whole process is cumbersome. And as you can see, and most especially the people that actually skate through are the executive. Of course, where you see people winning just at the legislative seat. Another thing we've seen is that the whole process was also full of technicalities than the substance of the matter. So one of the things we want to see is that justice is thoroughly done, not on the basis of technicality, on the basis of the substance of the matter. Did the person who is alleging, who they allege that didn't win the election, we have to say that he didn't win the election, not that he will go scot-free based on technicality, because this has a way of discouraging people. And the last thing I will wish to say, because a lot of in the report, is that there is a question that what we have now, where you have loads of cases and the court is busy for 2 years handling the election matter and then abandon their regular job, is it a sustainable process? So we should be looking at probably we have a special court for electoral matters, because it looks like it has come to stay. Election has come to stay with us. We have it every year. Don't forget, we had 2 elections, 2 cycle of election last year, the general election and the off-cycle in Kogi and Bayelsa and Imo. Now this year you are going to have Edo and Ondo, and then the upper year you are going to go to Anambra, and then the upper year you go to Ekiti and Osha, and then you come to 2027. It's a regular stuff now, so which we think we need to begin to think on how we can sustain the process and look at maybe electoral courts to deal with some of these things. So it is time we consider this.
Okay, sir, you raised